Hi friends, welcome back to Love Good Kitchen, or welcome if it's your first time joining us. My name is Matthew and I'm so glad that you're here today. Today we are going to be making one of my husband Luke's favorite desserts. In fact, it may be his all-time favorite. Much requested, maple walnut blondies. It's sort of a cross between a brownie and a cake, but it's not chocolate. Um, they're really good. I got the recipe several years ago, I think from a Food Network magazine, possibly something like that. And it's certainly not hard to do, but there are a few steps involved. So I did some of the prep work ahead of time. For instance, I did preheat the oven to 350, and I have a 13 by 9 pan that I have lined with foil and made sort of little overhang handles here so that we can lift it out of the pan. And then I also spritzed it with nonstick spray after I got it into the pan. I'm not really sure exactly why we need to use the foil, but the recipe calls for it. I've done it every time and it's been successful, so I guess don't knock it, right? But I think you probably could just grease your pan and you'd be okay. But I followed the directions, what the recipe said. And what else did I do? I took about a cup of whole walnuts or walnut halves, and I put them on a baking sheet and I put it in the oven, which was at 350, and I let them bake for about 10 or 12 minutes so that they get toasty and it brings out the nutty flavor. If you are pressed for time and you can't toast the walnuts, you can omit that step. In a pinch, I have not toasted them before, but it is better if you're able to do it. Then I let them cool off for a couple of minutes so that I could handle them without burning myself. And then I gave them a chop, I would say medium chop. That's not finely diced walnuts, but they're going to get mixed into the batter, into the dough. So it's not really dough, into the batter. So you don't want them to be too huge because it'll affect the texture. And then the other thing that I did was I took a saucepan and I put it on the stove over about medium heat, and 2 sticks of butter I cut into chunks and I put it into the saucepan. Cut it into chunks so that it doesn't take as long for the butter to melt. And then once it does start to cook, it does so more evenly. But you keep whisking every now and then over the medium heat so that the butter starts to cook, kind of becomes a brown butter because you'll get little brown flecks. Now, don't worry. Sometimes when I have done that, I've let it go for even longer than 10 or 12 minutes and I never get the flecks. It's all right. It'll still work out and it'll still be delicious. So I did that. And then once I took it off the heat, I added, I think, 1 1/4 cups of packed brown sugar into the butter, whisked it in, and then also 1/2 cup of maple syrup. If you have access to nice quality maple syrup rather than the tinted corn syrup, cheap imitation maple syrup that we sometimes have on pancakes, do it because it does make a difference in the flavor. But I will also say there have been times where I've made these and I was out. I didn't have any of the good stuff, so I used the pancake maple syrup and it was okay. It was still tasty. So I put that in and then I whisked that together. And then here we are, because now we're going to probably should get a hot pad here since it's still hot, but you want to let it cool off at least for a few minutes so that it's not scalding, because now we're going to add our eggs. We have 2 eggs and you want them to be at room temperature, because with this mixture, this particular mixture, it's going to incorporate a little bit easier, a little bit better if they're room temp. So there was 1. I'm going to put my shells in that bowl. Here's 2. Okay. We're going to break them up and whisk that in a little bit. Oops, I did. A little splashy there. Whisk in our eggs. And then once that's done, we're gonna add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract and then a teaspoon of maple extract. And I will say that the maple extract is not always easy to find, at least for me in my area here. Sometimes I have to go to one or two different stores. I also have ordered some online when I just didn't have the time to be scurrying around town trying to find maple extract. Actually, the last time that I found some, I don't know if I ordered this batch online or if I found it in a store, but at any rate, when I found it, I actually got several bottles because I know that my family loves this and I'd be making it. So that way I'll just have some. So here is a teaspoon of maple, and then we've got the teaspoon of vanilla. Ta-da! Okay, we're just gonna whisk that in. Probably should be wearing an apron when I do this because I'm still in my nice clothes and I'm sure something's gonna splatter on me. Okay, that should do it. Now let me check the recipe here to make sure that I'm not omitting anything in our process. But like I always say, don't worry about trying to write down ingredients and things because I will have the recipe down below in the description box in case you want to give it a try. You can just look there and the recipe will be listed. I can't talk today apparently. Okay, we did that and we're going to Okay. So we need to whisk and then we're going to fold in the walnuts. Yum. Nice butter and brown sugar, the maple and vanilla. Yum-y. I don't want to leave any goodies in the pan here. I'm not sure why I'm doing this left-handed. I'm not left-handed. Maybe it's good for my brain to do some left-handed things. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so this was a mixture of, I didn't tell you that. In this bowl, there was 2¼ yes, 2¼ cups of all-purpose flour, and then half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of baking powder. And I whisked that together before we started on this journey. So that was already whisked together before I added in this butter brown sugar mixture. It's starting to come together. This batter does have an interesting texture. And my guess, I'm not a food scientist, but my guess would be it's because of the cooked butter, the brown butter, and also the maple syrup that's in there. Because other than that, it's pretty typical ingredients, right, for baked goods. So okay, that looks pretty good. Ooh, yum. Oh, and it smells good. I wish you could smell it. Let me get my spatula scraper thingy do here. So I think that's what I'm going to use to fold in the toasted walnuts. How do you feel about these flavors? I love anything maple. We also really love nuts of all kinds, pecans, walnuts, peanuts, whatever. But I feel like things with maple and with nuts kind of get a bad rap. Like people give me a hard time because they think it's like old fogey business. I better put that over there. Like it's only for old people, but I don't know. We like it. I'm going to put in the yum. Not really sure why the recipe says to fold in the walnuts because this isn't really a delicate situation. You could just stir it in. It's not like we're deflating whipped egg whites or something. I don't know. I'm just going to give it a nice stir so that they're evenly distributed throughout. There, I think that should do it. And now we're going to take our prepared pan. We're going to get our batter in there. We'll have to spread it out a little bit. So again, it's in as even layer in the pan as possible because as you know, you want it to be even so that it all bakes up at the same time. If you have some areas that are thick and some that are thin, then the thin spots are going to bake sooner and then become crusty or burned before the thicker spots really get going, which is not optimal. Whoops. A little drip there. Okay. And it is very spreadable, so we don't have to worry about that. Just want to make sure it's going into our corners here. I think that should do it. Let's not leave any on spatula. Okay, yummy. So the oven is still going at 350 from before. So we're going to put this into the oven at 350 for about how long? What does it say? Recipe says 25 minutes. I'm going to start testing it at 20 minutes just to make sure. But I will do that and we'll bring you back. Okay, our maple walnut blondies are done. I just took them out of the oven. It took these about 22 minutes was the sweet spot where it was just right. I inserted a toothpick into the center and it came out clean. That means without any liquidy batter clinging to it. You can also do that with the point end of a knife to test it. But I would check anywhere between 20 and 25 minutes and you're probably gonna be good. So we need to let these cool completely before we get to the next step, which is to make the frosting and put that on here. But I will bring you back. See you in a minute. good mix. Okay, that should be good. Now we have 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, and we're going to add this gradually. You don't want to dump it all in at once because it's going to be clumpier and harder to get nice and smooth. So a little bit and get it going. Okay, we're not quite done. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and then just a little bit, maybe 1/4 teaspoon of our maple extract, and we'll go from there. If we think that we need a little more, then we will add it in, but we'll start there. Okay, we're going to give it a little taste, see if we need any more maple. I don't think so. I think it's perfect, just the way it is. Let me get a scraper here. Just get some of that yumminess off of our beaters. That'll do. Yum. Oh gosh, this smells so good. Okay, next up, we're going to get our maple walnut blondies out of the pan here. So we've got the handles that we made with the foil. And we're going to see if you know why? Because I've got one little edge there where it was kind of exposed from the foil. So I'm just gonna, no worries, I'm just gonna loosen it a little bit with a knife. There. Okay, here we go. That did lift out nicely. Let me move this over here. And I wonder, maybe we'll try flipping it over like that. And then we'll use this side, a nice smooth side. Peel that back. Well, that came out beautifully. Check that out. Beautiful, huh? Okay. So, I'll use this to get it going on there. And then I have an offset spatula, but if you don't have one, you could certainly use a butter knife or something similar to spread your frosting on the maple walnut blondies. Oh gosh, these are so good. I really hope you try this. Try these. It's, as you saw, it's really not hard at all. There are just a couple of steps, but totally worth it. So I'm just gonna spread it out. And this makes enough frosting for there to be a decent amount to cover the blondies, but it's not gonna be like 3 inches of frosting. As you probably know, I am not a huge frosting person. I feel like whatever your sweet treat is that has frosting, the frosting should be a lovely enhancement but I just don't get it when people want a mountain of frosting on things. It's like, well, why not just eat some of the frosting and then maybe you can have a bite of cake or something as a chaser. Hi. I'm frosting these maple walnut blondies.
For who?
Well, they're going to be for us.
But
Do you think you want to try one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're not going to try them right now, but maybe tomorrow, because it's getting kind of late. Maybe tomorrow after dinner we'll have some, okay?
Can I smell it though?
Can you smell it? I suppose. Now don't stick your nose in it, but you can smell it.
Okay. Hi.
Can you smell it? It smells good, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is in there?
Some yummies and some maple syrup and walnuts. Do you like nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Yeah.
Are they new people?
Well, I'm not sure. There might be new people. Hey, any new people? Ramsey says hi.
Can you sing so long, farewell, a reader saying goodbye? Do 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 do.
Okay, let's go.
Hurry me up.
No, it's time to go up to bed. Go with Papa.
Goodbye.
Okay, so now we're going to cut them. Let's see. I think we'll start by going halvesies. And I think in half again. We like these so much that I don't want them to be too small. There, that looks pretty good. And now maybe, let's turn it this way. Cut through this way. And once again. So these aren't gonna be giant pieces, but they're not skimpy. So if you do a moderately sized, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 16. I got 16 out of these, but oh my gosh. Check that out. Yummy. Oh, I want to eat it right now. I won't, because I will wait for my husband, who requested these and is anxiously awaiting some maple walnut blondies. But give these a try. They're not that hard to do. Doesn't take super long. They're just a couple steps. But if you have any questions, let me know. Leave it in the comments down below. Or if you have something else to say about these, or you try them, try making them, and you want to come back and leave us a comment, let us know that too. Love to hear from you. Give us a thumbs up, like this video if you enjoyed baking together today, and subscribe if you haven't. Click the little bell. That way you'll be notified anytime we upload a new video, and it also helps out our little channel. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Until next time, thanks, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.